stop the local underwear from washing line thief?
No. Are they new or wool underpants? It doesn't really matter.
Are they made out of something specific?
Well, they're cotton is the main thing.
Is it something to do with the maybe the soil that is kind of working with the cotton?
Okay, you're absolutely heading in the right direction and you're not terribly surprised about it. So if you want to find out how fertile your soil is, one of the things that's advised to farmers is to bury a pair of underpants and then dig them up a couple of months later to see what is left. And nothing should remain, if the soil is fertile, except the elastic. Everything else should have biodegraded. So the California Farmers Guild, the Quality Meat Scotland, the government body, they launched in 2017 Soil My Undies campaigns to encourage farmers to do this.
Wow.
So in healthy soil, so it's got the right amount of water and oxygen and nutrients for plants to grow well, life forms, microbes and worms and insects, they also thrive. And here's a really startling fact. Let me show you this. I've got a tablespoon here, and if I poured soil onto a tablespoon, there are about 50 times more organisms in this tablespoon than there are humans on Earth. So there's about 7.5 billion people on Earth. So a single spoon like this is 380 billion organisms living in a single tablespoon. And the more there are, the more they'll eat away at materials like cotton. So underwear depletion is a really good indicator of how your crops are going to grow.
It sounds a little bit like these scientists are the same people who worked on McDonald's fries. Last day of the work. Just bury underpants.
What about your pants in the garden? I can explain. Have you heard of science? If you think that's strange, how would you test to see if it's warm enough to put your plants outside?
Go outside?
So it's still underpants, bottom.
Well, if you take them off and you shrivel up, it's too cold. If it looks like a little mushroom peeking out of a bush.
Just out of interest, Jason, how's that going to work for the lady farmer?
Just to bring a fella over.
How smelly your pumps are, is it that?
Excuse me?
Should one blow off? Is it smelly? Is it smellier on a warm day or a cold day? What's often troubled me? I think cold air somehow lets you smell the gas more.
Okay, so I think this, but I can only describe it as a cul-de-sac of conversation. So I'm going to steer you back to the motorway of actual information.
Oh, it's not that then.
It's not that. No. So in order to assess whether you've already buried your underpants, you then sit down with your bare bottom in the ploughed field. And it is called the bare bottom test.
Angela ripped one.
It is recommended to farmers, and if it is comfortable enough to sit on the field, then it is warm enough to plant out. It's not that. No. So in order to assess whether you've already buried your underpants, you then sit down with your bare bottom in the ploughed field, and it is called the bare bottom test.
Angela ripped one.
It is recommended to farmers, and if it is comfortable enough to sit on the field, then it is warm enough to plant out your crops.
I'm telling you, science funding is a sham. Last day.
Hands up and sit over there.
Does this initiative actually work? Are there hundreds and thousands of farmers up and down the country wearing no pants and sitting?
The bum prints across their fields. I'm very hopeful, Stephen, that they're rich enough to have two pairs of pants, so there's one for them and one for them.
Maybe that's how they get crop circles. Okay, let's try this. You are at a soil tasting event
Okay, I won't
Sounds like us.
what you would do with these. So that's Stephen. I got a special one for you, darling. I've got worms for you.
Oh,
That's okay. So soil tasting event. What would you do?
Is it like wine where you would sniff it first anyway?
Yes.
You look at the colour,
Yes. And then?
put your tongue in it,
Okay. No.
sit in it.
Yeah. Just. Can I say that I didn't trust Alan not to do that, so you've got chocolate cake.
the best meal I've had for years.
So you don't actually have to taste it, is the thing. You're absolutely right, you can tell by smelling it. A quick way to determine soil texture would be to test it with your tongue.
Probably wouldn't put it in a wine glass.
No,
though.
but they do. At these soil
Lie face
tastings,
down.
they do actually put it in a wine glass.
Don't lick that, I've just sat there.
That's why it's warm. Or like the farmers could use some sort of thermometer to check the temperature of the soil. Yeah, imagine that. Well, I don't feel so well, I've got the right temperature. Come here. Farmers sitting on their wives' foreheads all over.
There are people who do eat soil, and it is surprisingly widespread in sub-Saharan Africa, for example. Between 30 and 80% of pregnant women eat clay, and there are people who are drawn to eating strange things. It's a condition called pica. And I read about this fantastic woman, she's called Adele Edwards, and she lives in Florida, and she's addicted to eating sofas. So she's quite specific. She only really likes the foam cushions. And in the last 21 years, she's eaten 7 sofas.
This is such a good prank. You know, like when someone's got a really badly behaved dog, you're like, all right, I'll bring Adele round, she'll keep an eye on him. She's eating the living room furniture.
She banned from IKEA.
Man, I care.
Can you imagine, like Christmas?
She watches DFS ads on a loop. Another sale! I'm gonna get a lazy boy.
She likes to complete eating the sofa. She doesn't like just little bites out
No,
of it.
and she can't do without, so if she goes out driving, she takes some sofa with her and eats it. So there's YouTube videos of this woman eating sofas.
I
It's
like her.
Maybe she's a couch potato.
Right, you've just soiled your pants. Now, why would you season your socks?
Well, in for a penny.
Something to do with a pea, isn't it? Pepper.
Pepper.
Pepper's a pea.
Pepper's a pea.
I'm all over this.
Must not be sweating.
No, it's the very opposite, and it wouldn't be that kind of pepper. That's slightly misleading, I'm afraid. So 1600s, chili peppers are first brought to Japan from Portugal, and people put them in their socks to keep their feet warm in the winter. Chili peppers contain something called capsaicin. It's the active component in chili peppers, and it's an irritant to mouths. And what it does is it gives the illusion of heat by creating a sort of burning sensation. Well, it doesn't actually give you heat, it can sort of, in fact, just numb you. What about these bell peppers? Does anybody know what the difference is between the green, the yellow, and the red?
You
Yes, yes, yes.
Colour.
So colour, yes, but it's not the real
So
difference.
people say it's the sweetness, that the green ones aren't as sweet and the yellow ones are the sweetest.
Yeah, the green is the unripe one. It's not the yellow one that's the sweetest, it's the red one. The yellow is,
okay.
as it were, on its way to becoming
okay.
a red one. So the green one, packed with chlorophyll, and it decomposes over time, and that is what gives it the orange and the yellow and so on, like leaves turning in the winter. So the chlorophyll decomposes. The red is the ripest.
Yeah.
Some green peppers, they will ripen off the vine, but don't put it in the fridge, because that's going to stop it ripening.
So if I had the green one in my house, off the vine, will it turn red?
Not necessarily. It depends when it's been picked and where you store it and all those kind of things. It might is the answer. Or
It might
could
go a
just
bit
go.
ready, yeah.
Yeah, it could just
Go
go
half
off.
and half, yeah.
Oh, that's a good game to play tonight.
So glad you were able to join us this evening. Slightly misleading, the word pepper. It comes from Columbus, who brought spicy peppers back to the New World in the 1490s. So the capsicum plants that he brought were totally unrelated to pepper that you get in the pepper pot, but pepper was a sort of catch-all term for foods like hot, tasted pungent, that kind of thing. Anybody know how you would play pepper roulette? Stephen! Wow, looking very good. I look like Alan's stolen my money.
I think one of the ways to play pepper roulette would be to go to a Las Vegas themed Nigerian restaurant and